yes, yes, yes. Finally, it's all coming together. We're a beautiful creation, coming to life after all these years. It's been about a month waiting for the right thunderstorm, but it's here, and that's what matters. This brutal storm's energy will be used to make something magnificent. Or should I say someone? And as soon as everyone sees this beauty, we'll be forced to acknowledge my achievements. Of course, that's not what it's all about, is it? I'd never go this far for that shallow acknowledgement. No. It's far greater. It's for love. A second chance. A life once cut short to be given the gift again. I knew all my research didn't go to waste. It'd be you. You'd be my first real achievement. Sure, all the roadkill I brought back went to my cause, but you, my first real person. A conscious creation. The day at the morgue, where I first laid my eyes on you. It was a day like no other. I used the last of the favors I had with the real doctors to get access for the night. I had a feeling a body would catch my eye, and boy did one. The serene look on your face on top of that silver table, I'll never forget it. That's the moment I knew you'd be the one I'd give a second chance. Sure, it was tough trying to explain a missing body from the morgue, let alone sneaking it out, but it was worth it. You truly were the perfect candidate. Inside still warm with life, and a family so stricken with grief they didn't want to see the body. I could do as I please. Sure, you need a little work, but that's what I specialize in. It was a joy putting you back together. I sculpted and molded you as I pleased, to absolute perfection. As soon as you wake, I'm sure you'll be happy as well. I mean, you should be grateful anyway. With a second life after that nasty car crash. A few chunks of the torso I had to up and replace. Glad that beautiful head of yours got out with just cuts and scrapes. That was already perfect. I didn't even have to open up your brain. I checked and there were still some neurons firing, hours after death. It was truly fascinating. I just had to keep it alive, you could say, until I was done with the rest of you. A couple more lightning strikes should do it. If I tried to do this without, the whole grid would shut down and we can't have people finding out about you just yet. I need to do analysis on your motor functionality as soon as you wake. See if you remember anything about your past life, or anything at all for that matter. Hypothetically, you should. I recall the fox I brought back could remember most everything, even learn behaviors. But I only kept it in a stasis for a couple weeks at most. You've been here for months. Only time will tell. It's finally happening. Come on. This has to work. This has to. Please. Just a heartbeat. Yes. It's alive. Oh, it's breathing too. Oh, thank God if there is one. Probably not seeing how this worked. Can you hear me? Oh. Their eyes. Fantastic. Yes, how are you feeling? What's the last thing you remember? Can you even understand me? Oh, that's good. You don't remember anything? But you can still understand my words. Okay, this is a good start. Okay. What about your condition? How do you feel? Tangly? Okay, there's still probably an abnormally high current going through your veins. It should soon go away. What about any dull pain, like an ache? Okay. A lot of your limbs and other parts are stitched together, but you're alive. And they should start joining together, at least a little bit. They might still be a little flimsy. My stitch work is kind of subpar. I promise to get better, though. For you. For my beloved creation. Oh, I'm sorry. No pain at all. Ah, yes, that's good. I guess that experiment to fry the pain receptors worked after all. You still can touch and feel. Ah, yes. Things are going well so far. And I noticed some surprise when I called you my creation. I'm happy all your facial muscles still work, but why are you surprised? Something wrong? Doesn't feel right. Well, I'd assume so. I've given you a second chance. A second chance at life. You died tragically, and far too soon. I saw you only after you died, and I was so moved that I wanted to give you a life again. Up until that point, I only resurrected roadkill or dead animals I found. Even just for that, I was shunned by the community for it. It's not natural. He looks off. Is he even alive? But they didn't have my vision. This could bring back the dead. The murdered people who weren't supposed to pass. I'm all too familiar with loved ones passing too soon, and I want that pain gone from the world. The car crashes, the suicide, the unnecessary death, it could all be fixed. No more losing your family or friends too early. You could bring them back. Yeah, it has its setbacks and kinks to work out, but doesn't every field? I'm sure the first wheel wasn't very round. This will be the same case. We just need to open our minds and hearts. Okay, enough of me on a tangent. I brought you back for more than that. I'll admit, I was smitten. Completely love-struck the first time I saw you. That's the other reason you're alive and breathing now. Well, alive enough. A lonely, grief-ridden doctor felt you deserved a second chance. You seem to be taking that well. I'm the one that's surprised now. Are you happy? Happy to have a second chance? Interesting. Well, I'm happy to provide it for you. I'm Dr. V. That's what you can call me. I am your creator. The one who put you back together. Well, with that out of the way, I have just a few more questions for you. Now, they should be simple ones. Do you have any memories? Maybe what the world looks like? Basic knowledge? That kind of stuff. Okay. I'd say a high school level. Basic intelligence. But no actual memories of your past life. Truly interesting. Truly interesting. Alright. Any desire to eat, drink? A desire to drink blood, maybe? No blood drinking. Got it. You are hungry? No need to worry. I anticipated this, and I have a plethora of eats on this platter. Please help yourself. I'll continue. Can you hear anything other than my voice in this room? Okay, the storm. That's it. You don't hear mine or your heart beating? Ah, that's good. I had to make some adjustments with your ears, and I wanted to make sure they weren't too sensitive. Now, for the real question. Will you help me? Help me end unnecessary death. A few questions of your own first. Okay. Go right ahead. I feel you're entitled to it, at the least. How I do it? Well, it's a fairly complicated process, but basics are getting a newly deceased person's or animal, setting them into a frozen-like state. They aren't frozen, of course, just in like a stasis, so their other parts stay healthy while the doctor fixes them, which could be anything to stitching some things up or replacing whole organs, just not the brain. You can't need that. Then after that, you'd need a tremendous amount of energy to essentially kickstart the whole living process again. Sending electricity to the brain to get neurons firing, shocking the heart to a normal beat, and you have to do this for a while. That's why I need to wait for this big old thunderstorm to wake you. This whole tower is like a giant lightning rod after all. Designed it myself. All for you. Well, that's the brunt of it, without most of the science stuff. Anything else? What's different about you now? Well, I'm sure you can see it for yourself. But nothing much, really. Your cuts and scrapes will heal. You still have to eat. Oh, and you can sleep. Very important. I guess the main difference would be your new stitched-together look. And some more durability, if that makes sense. Due to the lack of pain and being able to reattach your limbs, wounds shouldn't faze you as much. You'll still bleed and get a little woozy after a while, but nothing I can't patch up. One more question. Okay, what is it? Do you have a choice? Maybe you're a little smarter than I thought. How lovely. No, you don't have much of a choice. I decided I'll give you 3 options. Number 1, if you really want, I can send you back. If you truly don't believe in my cause, I'll make it just like falling back to sleep. Second, become my assistant. Help me in my little plot. You'll live here and work with me to streamline the reanimation process. Third, and my personal favorite, marry me. Be the last hope for this lonely doctor. I'd have you work with me too, but I'd dedicate a lot more time to you. Whether that's redoing your stitches, running some occasional tests, or helping you fall asleep at night. I quite literally know you best inside and out now. I can try and make this second life a little bit more fulfilling. Originally, I hate to admit I was going to force you to make the third option, but in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't. What kind of second chance would it be if you didn't have at least 2 choices? And now, which one will you pick?